So at the point of recording this, we're starting week 3 of the Analogue Hobbies Painting Challenge number 12. And I thought it would be a good point for me to look back at the first 2 weeks of the challenge for me and tell you about what I've been painting. So the first model I painted for the challenge this year was my Plague Centre by Foundry. I did consider painting this last year, but it seemed bad taste then. But frankly, I think we're all so sick of COVID by now, and it does feel like it's sort of ambushed our Christmas yet again, that this year I decided a bit of black humour wasn't going to kill us. So yeah, nice fun model to paint. My first use of contrast paints, I gave them a try here. So I mixed techniques. So I used contrast paints and my regular painting techniques. A little bit of inks as well. I'm quite chuffed with the way that the whole thing turned out. And then the next project was going to be the beginning of my main project for the painting challenge this year. I'm going to be doing the French Foreign Legion, sort of turn of the century, so between about 1900 1903, southern Algeria, the Soudaranis. So I need some Berbers to be fighting them. So here we have some Tuaregs. These are larger tribal units. I'm going to be using the Men Who Would Be Kings rules for these. Again, I've used the contrast paints just to give them a try. I really like that colour blue, and the brown worked really well as a contrast paint. And again, a mix of contrast paints and my regular painting techniques, and I'm quite chuffed with the way that these have turned out. I may do some more of these at a later date, but for the time being I'm focused on one particular game, a demo game that I'm going to be running later in the year, so I know exactly what it is I wanted to paint, and I decided to sort of concentrate on these. And then the next step was to move on to some of my other figures. Now I bought these casualty figures. Instantly, all of these models for the Berbers are Blue Moon 15mm, sold by Old Glory UK, and these casualty figures are just brilliant. They've got so much character in them. I'm going to have to buy some more because I just think they're going to enhance the table in terms of the look. There's a bit of scatter terrain to go around to show that there's been fighting previously. And then I painted up 3 units of rifle armed tribal warriors. So again, nice simple paint jobs, but they just look so good with the white undergarments and that brown cloak over the top. They just ping, they really stand out. And I've gone for the basing is nice and simple to try and match up with my mat. A couple of tufts of suitable coloured grass and some stones, and I think they look really well. And then there's a little bit of whimsy. I've decided to finish this batch with a goat herder. The goat herder himself is actually a casualty figure from one of the packs from Blue Moon, where I've removed the sword and with a very fine use of a very small drill bit, inserted a stick instead, so that he's sort of edging his herd on through the stubby grass as they try to eke some sort of living out of the land. Now I keep track of what I'm painting on a spreadsheet that I've been going for years and years. I keep adding this sheet every year just so I can keep track of where I'm at, and I'll list exactly what I'm going to paint, roughly what order I'm going to do it in. I gauge how many points I think I'm going to get, and then obviously I record when I've actually submitted it, how many points I've actually got, and then I use a chart just to show where I am compared to previous years. So you see here the solid red line is this year's progress. Not doing too bad. I've got a fairly modest target for myself, but it helps me to gauge how I'm compared to previous years. And sometimes I've had a very slow start, other times I have done better, but I've got myself a nice reasonable target this year. And then next on the table, something that I'm working on for the next few weeks is a bit of terrain. I've got some hills here made from styrene on hardback boards, and then I've painted them with some brown acrylics, and then I've used a combination of domestic emulsion paint and spray paints to give them a lighter overcoat. And then I'm going to be spending the next few days adding in some grass tufts and so on. I've also got some resin terrain there that I'm also going to add to it. And also on the paint table is the next big project, is some Berber cavalry. Again, I'm really looking forward to painting these. I've started on them and I'm really enjoying them. And you know, some people don't like doing their cavalry, but these are just such lovely models. I'm really going to enjoy getting these together. So they'll be probably in my next batch of submissions to the painting challenge, which I'm going to try and finish this week. But you know, you never know with these things. It takes as long as it takes, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. So there you have it, my submissions from the first couple of weeks of the painting challenge, and what I'm planning on working on next. And that's the end of week 2 of the Analogue Hobbies Painting Challenge number 12.